The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all. Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time, because we have created a program, which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. How are you? Primetime Home Buyers family, Secure Your Energy family, everybody who's just here to tune in tonight. Tonight, we're going to have a pretty chill broadcast. Shout out to the Primetime Home Buyers team. We did not go live today, but we will be back on Friday with possibly hints and tips, as well as we're going to get into another tax lien state. Tonight, we're going to do a broadcast that's focused on the increase of scams that is going on right now in America and all over. Now, we talked about this before, and I just want to start the broadcast off by talking about some of the preemptive factors that I believe led us to where we're at right now before we actually talk about our topic. And our topic is actually new banking scams, Zelle scams, Cash App scams, and basically tap in scams. Okay. The more automated, the more hacking that can be done. Okay. So now, over the last couple of years, I've been paying attention to some things that has been happening as far as legislative. That's one of the first things we want to pay attention to. So I bring this up all the time because it's very, very important. And this is the actual the buffer that we had as consumers that was put in place has been ripped. Okay. So you know about the housing market crash, the things that was going on. Basically, they were selling properties not only to people who could not actually afford them and didn't meet the banking criteria, but they actually was doing predatory lending. The contracts was jacked up. People would, put down payments on, not get property. It was just so many banking schemes, housing schemes, and things going on. So when Obama came in the house, we know that Obama put in the Dodd-Frank Act because he was coming in right or at about a time of 2008 crisis. Okay. So that that banking act that was put in place, which was the Dodd-Frank Act, that Dodd-Frank Act was something to help the consumers be protected. Okay, let me just make sure because I know so many acts. I'm making sure that that's the right consumer protection. Yeah, so the Dodd-Frank Act, the Consumer Protection, so that actually was set in place in 2010, and it has been helping correcting the market by eliminating people, big banks, small people, scammers from doing scams because money was allocated to the Federal Trade Commission, as well as the Consumer Protection Bureau, as well as they cracked down on predatory contracts, which they implemented like standardized contracts that needed to pass the FTC general guidelines. But now that actual particular act in detail did not only just focus on the actual hold on, let me just go into the Dodd-Frank Act. It didn't actually just focus on the housing, but also other sectors that had to do with creditors, lending, banking, financial institutions. So these restrictions was put on by boards that was supposed to supervise financial companies. Okay, these councils were supposed to set in rules and regulations, take in complaints, oversee certain situations. So if you go into the actual Dodd-Frank Act, which reform was put in 2019 and passed in 2010, you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to I can share it with you. It's HR 4173 Dodd-Frank Act. Y'all know I'm always going to share the facts. I can show it to y'all right on the screen right now because I want you to know that this still exists. The issue is that the Dodd-Frank Act is not being funded to the capacity that it should be funded. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. Okay. I just wanted to see what I could do. I wanted to switch some stuff up, but it wasn't being funded the way that it needs to be funded since Trump been in office. So when Trump came in office, basically he defunded it. He defunded a lot of other uh, stipulations that was put in for big businesses and his friends. And now we're here today. So I gave you that whole song and dance just to let you know now we're here today. And this is what led up to these issues. Okay. Let me see something. Hold on one second. Okay. I think that's going to be good. All right, so I got a new layout that I just put up. It's gonna be nice. Okay, sorry I had to stop. So let's get this broadcast started. We're gonna first talk about Zelle scams because we have a lot of people that actually use Zelle. I'm not a Zelle user, but I think it's very important for us to know what's going on. That victims are being scammed with Zelle. Okay, so this article is on the screen, but what I'm gonna do is read the article to you guys because I want y'all be able to see it when I drop the link. Okay. So this is brought to you by AOL. Victims of Zelle scam. You might be able to get your money back. So let's see what type of scam they got going on first and foremost. Okay. So y'all know I like to read. I read different articles. When I find them interesting, I'm going to bring it to you. Okay. This is a casual Friday Monday. Let's talk about it. We have to put consumers alerts because at the end of the day, my as I say, as a healthcare provider, I love to make sure that people are okay and doing things to be preventative, to stop having issues. It could be health issues, financial issues, mental issues, whatever we got to do to be preventative. That is the type of person I am, and this is why we're having these type of broadcasts on Primetime Home Buyers, which is the segment known as Secure Your Energy. Okay, we need to know how to secure our energy mentally, physically, financially, and socially at this point. Okay. So if you ever been one of the millions of unlucky victims who have been swindled out of money by a con artist using Zelle, you may soon be able to receive financial compensation more easily. However, if you want to know more about what type of scams we will cover by the payment app and its owner, you are in luck. Let's get it. Okay. So, Early Warning Service LLC, the network operator of Zelle, has announced that it is taking steps to revise its network regulations and protect users against fraud. But it says very little more about the type of scam covered for fear of revealing useful information to scammers. So, they're not going to tell specifically what they're doing, they just going to make it happen, allegedly. So it seems earlier warning services, security, and reimbursement efforts will develop alongside the type of scams they are trying to deter and recompile. Recompile. We are not sharing more detail about which scams are covered to avoid tipping off fraudsters, and we will continue to evolve over our requirements to address new patterns, according to the statement sent to Detroit Free Press. Okay. The move to ensure consistency across the Zelle network and improve consumer benefits comes at a time when Zelle and the 7 banks that it owns, Banks of America, ooh, we learn something new every day. So okay, it says come at a time when Zelle and the 7 banks it owes. So we know Zelle owns Bank of America, Capital One, Chase, PNC, Trust, US Bank, and Wells Fargo. So if y'all all think that y'all banking different, it's all owned by Zelle. Mm. Are coming under intense pressure to address the massive issues of consumer fraud. While the efforts are long overdue, many are asking for Zelle and early warning services to disclose more about its intention. We believe the changes will be a step in the right direction, but how big a step? Okay. Will they only apply the transaction involving a customer of one of the seven banks that own early warning signs together, or the consumers, all of the banks and credit unions that license the Zelle products? Okay, victims, uh, will victims be made whole? Oh, let me correct that. These seven banks, oh, it says it comes at a time when Zelle and the seven banks that own it. Okay, so the seven banks own it. Okay, I was transcribing that. I'm like, wait a minute, Zelle own all those banks? No, all those banks own Zelle. Okay, so that is the correction. I do apologize, guys. I'm like, it like literally processed slow. Like, wait a minute, that don't even sound right. But anyway, let's go into some of the crimes. Cyber crimes are the most common type of fraud. As the Detroit Free Press report, bank transfers and payment schemes account for a loss of 1.59 billion in 2020, following the crypto fraud of 1.43 billion, wire fraud ripoff at 310.9 billion. Wow, you know that has to do with mortgage. That has to do with it. It got to. And gift card swindling, 228.1 million, according to the data of the Federal Trade Commission Centel Network. Peer-to-peer platforms are gaining a loyal following among consumers and fraudsters alike because of their speed and convenience. These money thieves are being they are beginning to perpetrate using apps like Zelle, Venmo, Apple Pay, and can take several forms, often bank impersonation requests, urgent actions for account problems. So definitely pay attention to that. If you receive a text saying, "Did you make this transaction? Call us right now." You please distinguish the difference between your bank sending you a text, a standardized text, and a text coming from anywhere, um, as well as email. Please pay attention because that is one of the things they also use PayPal. They failed to mention PayPal because I had two instances where I received email saying that PayPal was charging my card. And let me tell you how good these fraudsters are, okay? This is just one of the steps that they're starting to take. We know what banks own Zelle, and these are the people who are allegedly setting forth actions to protect us. But let me tell you about how smart these fraudsters is and how tapped in they are. Now, you know that they can basically track our history, our browser history, and where we've been, where we're going, the things we search. This is the data collection that they're selling amongst businesses. Okay, so not just big businesses buy this data; they actually have scam artists that buy this data, regular people that buy this data. Now, one, it's proven that you can buy people data because one, skip tracing is real. Two, you can always buy an email list, and the email list will have name, phone number, and if you want addresses on it. Okay, that's how um, readily available people information is. So basically, what ended up happening is that I was looking for gold vendors. Okay, so I'm looking for gold vendors, and whatever be my personal situation. And I received an email basically saying that a transaction to purchase, like what? $3,000 worth of gold was about to go through my account. So I needed to call them and verify the transaction. So I was like, what? Oh no, I'm not. That's not, it should not be going through PayPal like that because I don't use PayPal for those transactions. Make a long story short, when I looked at the email, you can plainly see it may have the PayPal logo, but then when you go into the email address is connected to like a Gmail account, an AOL account. PayPal do not send emails, or Zelle, a Cash App don't send group emails to people. Okay. So that's the first thing that we have to know as a consumer. If you receive a group email that is from a big company, that is a red light. If you receive an email that is not the big company's email address, that's a second red light. Another thing I need you guys to pay attention to, you really have to take your time, just take a second, it will save you thousands of dollars. They have contact information in these emails. So you want to compare the actual contact information that is on the business entity website, be it Zelle, Cash App, Apple Pay, the official website that you know, and compare it to the information on the website. That information, the only information that I suggest that you use to get in contact with vendors is actually on the official website or your first initial payment or setup corresponds. Okay. So that's how smart they are. They use your searches to figure out what you're doing and what you're into to come in at an angle. The next thing, I was, what was it? It was the gold, and I think just now it was about cryptocurrency. Now, I definitely know I don't invest in cryptocurrency, but I was actually, as I was telling the backpack team member, I'm looking into investing in ETF currency exchange, those things like that. So once I start doing my research, I'm learning. All of a sudden, bam! I get an email saying your PayPal is about to be charged this amount of money for cryptocurrency. I say, yo, how smart are these people? So I did tell you about, the primetime home buyer, about a scheme that was connected to Microsoft as well, where literally it hacked my computer when I was in the middle of working and said, stop, call us right now. Your computer has been hacked. Don't move. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, this is not normal. Like, why would Microsoft allow this? But what ended up happening is that my my Norton had expired. And when you have Norton, the VPN as well, and it's another one, a protection, McAfee. So I have Norton VPN and McAfee. They wasn't active. They were able to break through and literally just, come in with some crazy stuff like that. So I want you guys to pay attention to those type of schemes. We done named a few schemes just off the bat that I experienced. Okay. And I'm going to name some more as well because my son has went through some schemes as well, and I think that is just very important for us, for me at least, to educate the general public about this because I have been scammed before, so I find it very disheartening. And especially if you have a good heart, and you fall for stuff because you want to help people or whatever. So this is why we're talking about scams, because one, the Black community is in a rut. We're in a situation where we really want to build generational wealth. We want to get there fast. We want, the easy way. And this is why scammers get to do these things to us. So that's why we're having these type of broadcasts. This is just a chill broadcast with Secure Your Energy. And we're going to get into the next type of scheme, which is Cash App. Now, I'm going to give you a story about Cash App because my son got scammed on Cash App doing business. Now, I'm just telling you, when you have a good heart and you just don't know, it happens, so don't feel bad, but you have to learn. And then what I do notice is that when people in the Black community, when we get scammed, we don't want to go to the authorities. It's this thing, snitches get stitches. Oh, they're not going to help us, those type of things. And like I said, coming from Newark, I totally understand. I'm an 80s baby, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And as long as they have channels that's set up to protect us, the consumer, I'm gonna motherfucking use them. Excuse my language. You better not come and scam me. I don't care what color, ethnicity, wherever product you got, you better honor it because I'm gonna come and get you. Or you just gonna give me my money back. You better just give it back. I'm gonna tell you. So there, yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So Cash App scams. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Mm, 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 mm. 10 scams and how to avoid them. Now, they have Cash App flipping, fraudulent bank claims, pet sale scams, ugh, rental scams, Cash App Fridays. And I've seen something like that on Facebook. People do that. So we're going to talk about that. Investment scams, Cash App impersonation, and phishing scams that's dealing with emails. So pay attention to that. Fake accidental transactions. Oh, I want to read that one. Gift card scam and catfishing scams. So let's get it. Cash App flipping. Scammers monitor the comment trends during Cash App giveaways, looking for commenters to target. They direct message users to convince them that they're successful Cash App flippers who can turn small sums of cash into larger amount of money. Did you guys hear something like that? I That was a scam that was going on Instagram. That was a scam going on Instagram. They will be in your inbox talking about you give us this amount of money and we could get you $500 just like this. Just send it in this. And I'm like, what type of nonsense is this? Once they persuade a user to give them an amount of money to flip, they disappear with the funds. What are they flipping? And I'm gonna say, people, if someone says they're gonna flip something, you better ask them what you about to flip, baby. We ain't about to do that. So people engaged in these scams might refer to the participant as a money circle. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of a lower scale FIFA, or how they call it, the flower scam. Those type. It's just a lower scam to that. All right. So pay attention to that. That was going on Instagram a couple of months ago. I haven't seen it most recently. But then I'm going to talk about another scam that I've been seeing on Instagram that is ridiculous. And I know what the scam is because literally I understand about secure party creditor. So they're bringing the secure party creditor methods to Instagram and teaching people bits and pieces of it. And I'm going to clarify that for you too, because I saw that and I was like, these little teenagers don't know what they're getting into. There's already a president for that type of stuff. Heather Ann Tucci, you're going to be going to jail. And not going to jail. So fraudulent payment claims, similar to clash flipping, payment claim scams involve fraudulent convincing unsuspected Cash App users that they are entitled to the payment and to the claim it. They must first send a similar amount of cash. Cash App says it will never request funds from a customer, and it is not possible to claim payments by sending money to Cash App. And I think that is the lowest level scam that someone could fall for. And I'm not gonna be, I ain't even gonna say that because I like I told you, I fell for a scam. And I'm gonna tell y'all my scam, and y'all gonna laugh at me that I fell for this scam. And I was like, I was like in my last semester of nursing school, and they literally they had to know my personality. Like they had to know. They set me up. But I'm gonna tell you after this how I got scammed, okay, of $800. Okay. Gotta be honest. So pet sale scams. Con artists often offer pets at unusually low rates. Instead, they they be shipped as opposite to picking up in person. So he said they'll be shipped opposed to being picked up in person. I do apologize. And the seller demands payment via cash transfer of the sale, and they never arrive, and the money has to be given before they go. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. First and foremost, that sounds like Craigslist or what's that other place? Yeah, Craigslist. And even allegedly, I'm finding out that Facebook Marketplace, that people expect you to meet them. Okay. And I'm like, I'm not about to meet you. the stuff is able to be shit. Why the heck would I meet you? This is what my kids say. Somebody could confirm that with me, because I have items that's on sale on at Facebook Marketplace, and I don't understand why people inbox me and say, "Is this still available?" when they could click it and go order it. So I'd be like, "Yeah, it's available." They were like, "Okay, do you want to meet?" And I'd be like, "No, uh, I don't want to meet you. You know, can't get that sale." So those type of things seems like scams to me. So be careful of Facebook Marketplace as well, because Facebook Marketplace supposedly should be secure and having a secure payment method. So it's really no need for you to have to meet somebody. They also make you put your shipping information in there. So okay. So rental scams. Now, this is another thing. Even this one is for young people, especially young people who are looking for apartments now and they really don't know. We have a lot of people taking advantage of our younger generation. This is why I try to really, really school my kids about what is the actual procedures for renting, because they just think anything. They think they're going to just get some money, just give it to people, and they got their apartment. Then they're going to probably done gave their whole damn savings away because they got these rental schemes like this. So Cash Apps warn users to be on the outlook for apartment and home rental deposit schemes. The fraudster the fraudster have an unusual low price rental availability, but says you have to transfer the money for the deposit before you can see it. Of course, the scammer will disappear with the money. Duh. Even when you go see an apartment, if you were to go see an apartment and they say Cash App, no, you better go get a money order and keep your money order and keep your paper trail. That is definitely to my young people. I'm gonna tell you now, most valid um people who own property, they do background checks on you. They want you to have your information in, first, last name, a little bit of history. The ones who don't want that information, you should be wary. Okay. Now, I'm going to say back in the day, I have rented places month to month, and I paid cash or I paid with money orders, but there were always real rental agreements set up. And these days, I think people have to go as far as actually finding out who owns the property, because people right now is just so shady that they're renting out properties that are not theirs. They have access to it. They probably just supposed to be watching it or whatever. And these things are going on right now. Okay. So if you're part of the buyback team, you already know that we teach you the method to find out everything you need to know about a house, even if you're not the owner of the house. That type of information is, hold on, sorry, that type of information is public information. And being part of the buyback team and taking the actual tax lien and tax deed course, we teach you how to look through this stuff. Like, our main drive in primetime home buyers is to teach you to do your due diligence so you don't get scammed like this. We don't want you to be scammed like this. Okay. So let's go moving on. Investment scams. Since Cash App allows the purchase of Bitcoins within the app, it is no surprise that Cash App users have seen an increase in investment scams, often for fraudulent cryptocurrency offers. Scammers send out emails and messages for fake, can't miss investment opportunities with the hope that someone will fail to do their due diligence before revealing financial information or investing. Okay. So with that, my advice is to use a reputable website or app. And I use Robinhood, you know. So that is very secure. That is a company that's specialized in these market trading for the little guy. Cash App is nice. They give you access to it, but they don't specialize and have those securities in place. So you really have to be careful when you're buying currency, and especially cryptocurrency, on these particular apps. And if it's not within the market and somebody's just saying send them some money, I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, I don't think that's a good idea. So number 7, Cash App impersonate and phishing scams. So we already know. I told you about the PayPal impersonation and phishing scams, where they send you the email that looks like Cash App, that you know Like, hey, this is how much you owe. This is what's going on. You got to send this money. I think my son got scammed twice. One like that, and then he got scammed from somebody who was gonna buy sneakers from him. Okay, it just didn't make no sense. I don't understand how people think, but I have to talk about this because there's gonna be more people who think like this. There are gonna be more people who are wholehearted and thinking like, no, this has to be right, and it's not. Okay. So, fake accidental transactions. Scammer create a fake Cash App receipt as proof that they mistakenly sent to you Cash App account. They sent a screenshot of the receipt as well as a request for you to return the money with the hopes you will do so without first verifying the transaction. They use your phone number. They know your Cash App. They send that to you. Like you could be in the middle of doing something and like, oh, I sent you this. And you're like, oh, okay, just send it back. Now I'm not that type of person that say, okay, I'm gonna look like when the money came through, what day, how much. Oh, nah, that don't work. So please be on point, guys. Do not be too gullible. Do not just listen to what everybody tell you. I'm so sorry. So we got gift card scams as well that goes on. Now, I really don't understand the gift card scam, so let's get it in. Cash App scammers try to con unsuspecting individuals out of gift cards before the scammers pay out the individual Cash App giveaway money. They reach out to the victims with the request that the victims purchase prepaid gift cards from the local retailer or popular website on the scammer's behalf. I'm taking them. Oh wow! I just put gift cards on my website. I'm gonna take those gift cards off. These scammers making everything terrible. You can't even have products these days. Oh no, because I was thinking about like, why I should offer these gift cards on my website, but it's through Wix. I'm on Wix is offering this, so Wix is credible. So I know that it's good. It's basically like a card. Wix is gonna make sure the money get on it. But it's like when you have these type of scams, it make you who are doing things honorably look crazy. All right, Black community, you really want to do your research. You really do. I promise you. Don't just put the entity name inside the Google and say, oh, they got a website, they good. Maybe you like, okay, where do they live at? Do they have a disclosure agreement at the bottom of their website? Do they have a return policy? Do they have a money back guarantee? Can you find this entity in the state that is said that is located at? Is it an entity? Is this person a person? Can you get in contact? Who is the owner? If you're seeing a business and you can't figure out who the owner is, that's the first thing you need to be questioned. Okay. So I think like in the next 2 weeks, we're gonna be doing some catfishing scams. So that broadcast is gonna be banking love or banking a heart banking schemes. I don't know, love banking schemes, a hard pill to swallow. I don't know. We're gonna do something like that because there's been a lot of that going on, especially because we have people who are in the house, people who are using online dating platforms to meet people, and when they meet people, these people are not people. These people are just not being honorable. They're using it for ways to scam people, way to hurt people, just all types of stuff. Okay. So we're going to get into our second half of our broadcast. But before we do that, we got to give a word from our sponsors. If I could find it.
Would you like to learn a brand new and innovative way to invest your extra money that has a low barrier to entry and low competition? What if I told you that it is a guaranteed method to get up to 18 to 20% return on your investment? Tax lien and deed purchasing is the only way to get into the real estate market through the back door. No credit and no loans needed. This method isn't commonly taught, and therefore the competition is very low, for now. Put together a 14-hour info-packed course which will teach you everything you'll need to know to get started. Learn at your own pace, step-by-step guided video and aids to start you on the TLC deed investment process. The course offers many learning tools for new investors, helping ensure you safely invest in tax liens and deeds. Contact us today and join the buyback team.
All right. So we're going to get into our next type of scheme, and this involves Chase Bank and just banks, period. Okay. So common banking schemes continues. I want you to pay attention to this because this is what I've been warning my kids about too, about this tap, tap, tap in. The guy was like, just tap. I'm like, I'm not tapping that. Nah, I'm putting my pen in. We tracking this shit. You got it? So here is exclusive Chase Bank ATM victim goes undercover to prove he was scammed by glue and tape thief. What is that? Let's get it.
Revealed a new type of ATM scam. Thieves, get this, pouring glue into the card reader, forcing victims to use the tap feature, then draining their accounts. And it happened to several Chase Bank customers in San Francisco.
It did, but the bank denied their claims. So one victim set out to prove to the bank that he really was scammed. 7 on your side's Michael Finney has the story. Michael.
Yeah, amazing story from start to finish, actually. The scammers knew that by tapping your card, the ATM transaction window stays open even after cash comes out. Well, if you walk away too early, the thieves step up and start withdrawing money. The bank said there was no proof of any scam. So after losing everything, this young man decided to go get that proof.
I didn't look at the camera.
There was like a card stuck in the ATM.
Joey Malarkey recalls how someone stole his money at this Chase ATM. The card slot was glued shut. A man next to him offered help.
He says, "Oh, you have to tap your card because it's been broken." And I was like, "Oh, dang."
Joey tapped his phone, withdrew $60 and walked off. It all seemed normal until he went back to that ATM.
And then the same man was there. That's where I was suspicious.
As Joey withdrew another $60, the man came closer.
He went up to the ATM like right behind me. So I was like, that's not good.
Sure enough, Joey later found multiple withdrawals from his account. $1,640 gone.
I'm like, that happened to me.
That guy scammed me last night at the ATM machine.
I didn't think anything of it. I thought he was just using the ATM.
My initial reaction was, wait a second. I definitely did not withdraw that much money.
The same thing happened to several customers at that ATM.
They put glue in the card reader of the ATM machine.
A bank manager told victims that scammers pour glue into the slot so victims have to tap instead. By tapping, the transaction window stays open, even after the cash comes out. If a customer walks off without closing the window, a thief can step up and withdraw more money.
I called them maybe 20 times within the span of that week.
Chase Bank rejected Joey's claim, just as it denied other victims, ruling that they authorized the withdrawals.
And they just pretty much said, you don't have any proof of these claims.
Bankers told Joey he must have taken the money since he tapped his phone at the ATM.
Since I didn't report my phone missing, that I must have made these charges, which was not true at all.
The bank refused to check the surveillance video to see who really took out his
money.
money.
They said the police have to request the surveillance video. They need like a subpoena.
And so Joey took matters into his own hands. He made his own video.
Every time I walked my dog, I would just look to see if he was there. And he was there one time.
From across the street, Joey saw the same man lurking at the ATM. Secretly, he shot this video. He says it shows the man scamming someone else.
I told Chase, hey, I have this video. Is this proof? And they said, no, just because you have proof of them doing it to someone doesn't mean it happened to you.
Wow.
Chase Bank. It reviewed Joey's case, and this time, he got a refund.
Wow.
The bank also refunded other scam victims, but has not said how it investigates these scams, telling us we are making changes to our ATMs to protect our customers.
I was super surprised because I tried so hard to get that money back.
Wow.
Consumer advocates tell us banks are required by law to conduct a full investigation. They are not allowed to simply ignore important evidence like surveillance video. Now, if you lose money and your bank refuses to look at all the evidence, you let me know about it. I'm getting people their money back.
That's right.
Thank goodness
that's
you're doing
right.
that.
I'm going to tell you that. And that's why consumers need to understand the consumer protection rights, because that is, if they don't do the proper investigation according to the FTC, they're going to be found liable and get a fine. And then they have to reimburse the customer of the money's lost, period. And that is something that you guys need to know. So if that happens and they're not responding, I guess get in contact with 7 online. No, and the Federal Trade Commission as well and report them for fraud. Okay. So now, if y'all happen to see that going on, and you at the bank and someone is there being weird, don't use that tap in. I try to tell y'all. Now, my thing is, if you at a bank in that transaction, in the transaction, it says, do you want to do another transaction? You're supposed to say no. You don't walk away and be like, I'm good. So you leave the room for the bank to do what they did to this gentleman. You have to be more wiser, not nonchalant, and on point. Us 80s babies different. I don't know. These young people, they just like, the world is beautiful and everybody loves me. And we like, what? Oh no, we on a hunt. People who were born from 87 and back, and I'm going to give you 88. I'm gonna say 99. I'm because my brother 90 and 90, he a 90s baby, about 92. People who 92 and back the year born, we on point. The ones 92 and now, 92 from 1992 to now, y'all gonna have to catch up. That's why we're doing lives like this, because we have to. I'm trying to show you what the hell is going on. There's no lollygop, pop, and gum jobs. We have scammers. We have people who don't have your best interests. They may look nice, sound nice, may be a big company. As you see, they're talking out of two ends of their mouth, Chase Bank. They were just trying to say they want to cut down on Zelle schemes, but you don't want to cut down on the schemes that's taking place through your own business, allegedly, where you will refuse to go look at the camera. You ain't doing that unless this man get a subpoena from the judge. You see, and they know the common person can't have, don't know how to, don't have the money to, or don't have the time to go through that. So that's what they're banking on, so they can just move on and you get your money stolen. Okay. So how to get your money back after a bank transfer scam. So we're gonna talk about bank transfer scams. Okay. So many, and I know a lot of them bank transfer scams, they do have to do with real estate, so we need to be on point to that. Don't be doing no quit claim title, no quit claim deed. I mean, and paying for it and think that you got a house, wire somebody some money and you be in trouble. Don't you do that. So let's get into it. How to get your money back after a bank wire scheme. If you're reading this, I'm sorry, because it's probably mean you or a loved one has recently fallen victim to a bank transfer scheme. This is when the type of fraud where someone tricks you into transferring some of all of your own money to someone you don't know. For example, the scammer might pretend to be from your bank fraud team and warn you that you need to move your money to a safe account, but it's actually an account controlled by fraudsters. Wow. Why would you see people who do stuff that's weird? My thing is, okay, if you got fraud within your bank, why you calling me to transfer the money? Why you just don't create another account and transfer the money and let me know this is what we had going on, your money safe? Why do I have to transfer my money to a whole nother account that's within your bank? I see. We got to think before we do stuff. We got to think. This is how I talk to my son, my daughter. Like, yo, we got to think. It just don't make no sense. If a scam has affected you, then you came to the right place. Over the past 4 years, as the Telegraph consumer campaign, I won back billions of pounds on behalf of the readers who have been scammed in this exact way. With bank transfer fraud a huge and growing problem. Now, this is in UK, but it's happening here too. You have thought banks would have been hot on preventing it, catching criminals and retrieving customers' money. Yet they are only returning less than half of the stolen money to victims on average, and some banks are much more worse than other. How easy is it to get your money back after a scam, depending on the number of factors? What happened, who you bank with, and your personal circumstances. In this, guys, I will walk you through everything you need to know to have the best circumstances to get your money back. So I want you to read this article. We're going to play this video for you real quick. Should you be worried about your money in the U.S. banking system? Okay. We're going to play that after this. But I want you guys to look at some of the tips that he had. One of the first things he said is write a detailed timeline of events with as much detail as possible about what happened and draw up a spreadsheet showing all of the fraudulent transactions. You submit this to your bank, as it will help your bank understand exactly what happened. If you can't quite remember what happened, you are entitled to request copy of your own data under the GDPR rules, including record phone calls and notes made about you on your bank internal system. Oh, I'm gonna have to read down. They probably were talking about me because I was good on my bank. Listening back to these may be painful, but it may help you get your money back. Oh, I didn't know. I learned something. You learn something new every day. So basically, under the GDPR rule, you can compel your bank to give you all the information you need, and including recording phone calls and notes made about you in the bank. What if the bank isn't signing up? What if the bank isn't signed up to the code? Even your bank isn't signatory to the CRM code, you can still report any fraud to your bank. And also, soon as you discover it, all banks are regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. So that's another Financial Conduct Authority, whose guidelines state that they must take responsible steps to protect consumers from crime. So if you can demonstrate that they failed to do so, you may still get your money back. Oh, you learned something new. We're going to go over that one day. We're going to go over that. Okay. This is the Federal Conduct Authority, Financial Conduct Authority. Oh yeah, I know about them. Ooh. Woo, 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 woo. Y'all know that I'm a legal nursing consultant, and I file claims against entities that practice fraudulent. Now, I'm going to tell you, over the last year and a half, 2 years, I really chilled out. After I did my big OSHA report on the hospital that I worked for in New York, when I was in there doing contract, how terrible it was, and they literally just ignored it. I did another one with the actual OSHA out here and employee protection provision in regards to a hospital under COVID, and that one went well. And that was actually the last one I did that was big. So I really took a break after that. But most recently, I just said these people are forcing my hands. They are forcing Miss Lashley, legal nursing consultant, hands. And just because I'm a legal nursing consultant don't mean that I can't legal my way into other realms and do what I got to do. And I'm going to tell you that, guys, sometimes you got to take the ball in your own court. I mean, even the most recent consumer protection report I made was against Hertz. Hertz is doing things that's fraudulent, and they just settled a big lawsuit for actually getting some of their customers locked up, saying that they didn't bring the car back. That's a whole nother scam. So I had to report Hertz because we return the car, everybody fine, they take their money out, automatic payment, can't leave without it. And then 3 months later, I get a bill saying that I owe them $90, but it's a creditor bill. And the creditor saying, well, you got a ticket, or you had a car accident, or you damaged the car. And I was like, what? So doing investigation, they basically sold a fraudulent debt to third-party creditors, and they're harassing people. So that's another scam. These companies are selling debts that don't exist to third-party creditors, and these third-party creditors are trying to collect from people, harassing people on fake debt. Fake debt. So please, please, please be advised about that. That's another scam that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And yeah. So now we're gonna basically get into our last scam because everybody is so into easy technology. Snap and go, swipe and go, swipe and go, tap in. But we also have new technology that fell under the QRL code. So the QR codes are another way people are scamming. Who would have known? Who would have known? So this is brought to you by Express News. Sky issued urgent warning over new QR code scam stealing financial details. Okay, this was April 17th, actually, 2023. It was updated. QR codes are becoming a hot spot for scammers, and with more businesses and services making use of them to share information with customers, the threat in this area rise significantly. Skies have issues and warn to customers about the new QR code scam. Criminals are using to trick people into accessing fraudulent websites. Similar to many other technology companies, Sky used QR codes to help customers set up device faster and easy. People simply have to scan the QR code to their smartphone, and it will simply simplify the login process. However, cyber criminals have been using this QR code to divert customers to fake websites in a bid to steal details such as username, password, or even bank account information. Wow. Wow. While the scammers are becoming more believable, there is a simple way to avoid falling victims, Sky has said. User can dodge fraudulent activity by making sure that they only use their phone cameras when scanning QR code instead of using third-party scanning apps. Okay. Didn't know that. The statement from Sky reads, sometimes when you're signing up for a new app on Sky Q, Sky Glass, or Sky Screen, we might ask you to scan the QR code that appears on your screen. This is so we can get you set up faster. Most people use QR code scanners that is part of the camera on their Apple or Android phone. We're currently seeing a problem where some consumers who are using third-party QR code scanner apps are being redirected to fake websites and having their financial details stolen. So be careful with these third-party apps, okay, that are collecting your information financially, and they're not supported, and they're not a secure website as well, and the app is it just popped out of nowhere. Okay, I can look to see how many users, how long it been, how many ratings, all of that. Okay, we advise you to only use your phone camera when scanning QR codes on Sky pages. Okay, now I guess that will go for everywhere when it comes to QR codes. If someone says that you have to download an app to scan their QR code, just don't do it, because like they said, most devices can actually access the QR code through their phones. That's all you have to worry about. Okay, so this has been a consumer protection broadcast, and I talk about these things because it's very important for us to know, what new scams are going on, how technology is advancing so fast that it's actually making us vulnerable, and that's what people were talking about, as well as making it easy for them to have our information and for our money to disappear. So I want to close off by telling y'all how I got scammed. Okay. Let's put some background music on and see how this is. This music is brought to you by StreamYard. And this is I think it's Night drive. Okay, so this is how it went down. I was I was in my last semester of nursing school. I was working as a CNA, going through a lot. My kids were living with my father because the last semester of nursing school, I had to give my kids to them. And he not had to, but he offered to help take care of them while I was financially destitute, just studying, trying to be a nurse. So basically what ended up happening is that I was overnight and I ended up receiving an email. And the email was saying, hey, we have picked like 5 or 6 people from your country to receive this inheritance. We know what type of person you are, and we know that your aspirations is to help humanity. And the person who passed away wanted this money to go to individuals who would use this to uplift the planet, uplift the world, something to that nature. That was the actual scam, guys. These people get to know you. So that is my aspiration, is to uplift as many people as possible in this world to be free financially, mentally, spiritually. And they took advantage of me. So I'm always crying. I never really talked about it because it made me feel bad. Because I really thought that I was going to have big money. So I understand people being scammed. Y'all know I'm a crier. Shut up. Y'all know I cry when things is deep down inside. So just listen to my story. So this is how I got scammed. So basically they sent the email saying that we know you. This money is basically an inheritance that's left by this individual from a country like in Iran. And they have all. So I'm thinking, no, it was Dubai. So I had looked up Dubai, the area. I was like, oh, what's Dubai? Oh my God, it's beautiful. The lights and everything. This has to be real. So I emailed back, like, what are you talking about? Da, 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 da. He's like, this is the situation. These are the people who have been chosen. You've been chosen from this area of the United States, this person from this part of the world, this. You pick some people to be winners, to be inheritors of this money to do good. I promise you. So make a long story short, basically they said what they always say. Send us $800 so you can get this account open and all the information can go in your name. Now, I didn't, the smart thing, the good thing that they didn't ask for my social, my address, none of that. Because how dumb I was at the time. And this is literally my last year of nursing school. So I was about 27 years old. I was not young, okay? I had 2 kids. So I have to be honest. Anyone can be scammed. That's why I'm such a stickler for honesty, okay? Because it's been a few times. So I went to MoneyGram, okay? I'm about to send this money to Dubai. I'm about to have my $1 billion account. I got plans on how I'm going to spend this money, take care of the world, have my nonprofit organization, all that. Then I get there, and the lady like, who are you sending this to? I said, well, I'm sending it to this person that's resident in this area. She was like, do you know this person? And I was like, why? Like, do you know this person? I said, yes, I know this person. She was like, okay. She started doing something. She was like, ma'am, I don't think you should do this. I don't think you know this person. There's been a lot of scams, and I'm not going to do it. And I was like, what? You're not going to do it? I was so headstrong and being gullible that I got back and I emailed her, going back and forth. And I think we ended up communicating through like WhatsApp apps, something that was really readily faster than the email somehow. And he gave me tracking number information, telling me which ways I could send the money. So I was going to do it through MoneyGram. I went to another MoneyGram with Western Union. I think in Western Union. And the lady was like, ma'am, another lady. She's like, do you know this person? Da-da-da. I'm like, yeah. She's like, you sure? I was like, yeah. She looked at me like, you don't know him. She's like, but I'm about to just do this, get the stick out my damn face. And she just did it. And when the money was sent, it was gone. Could not contact the email address anymore. That was it. It was just the email address. And the Cash App or whatever, not the Cash App, the WhatsApp app was blocked. Yup. So that's my story, how everyone plays a fool and no one is perfect. So this is why I'm so passionate about what I do, because it hurts when you work for your money and you really want to just try to do something. And that's why I say learn as much as you can, Black people. Learn as much about your trade, about the people you'll be working with, their field. You have to be up all night to protect yourself and protect your business. This is what you should do. Okay? Because that's what I do. So we are out into this broadcast, and I got some projects to work on tonight. That's why I didn't go live on Primetime Home Buyers. But I wanted to come and have a talk, chill session with y'all. Some newspaper articles about new trends. And new trends right now is that the scams is on the rise. Our young people are very gullible. They're not being taught about this. They're seeing things on Instagram, Facebook that looks really nice, and it's everything that looks nice is not nice. Someone who's honorable, humble, and really have a lot of money and really want to do good, I don't think that they're going to be out on Instagram flashing, job talking. You know, they're going to really try to approach their profession, the general public, with some type of honor. Even if they're not perfect, because you know I ain't perfect. I got my other platforms uncensored. That's just how I just get out and just talk and say what I need to say. But you really, really should take the time to get to know businesses, people, entities that you sow your seed in. Really, really be careful with your debit cards, with these third-party paying systems. It can be very convenient, but it's just as convenient it is for you. It's just as convenient for scamsters. So, thank you for being here with Lashley. You've been amazing. I want to say, gotta go.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time, because